Andrew, thank you so much for being with us today on the podcast. It's exciting to finally get you on our podcast. We've talked for a long time, and this is your end of the business is kind of Brian's wheelhouse and not necessarily mine. I'm not an investor in things. I don't really understand. I don't have any money to invest in things, and so one of my questions I think would be an interesting topic for us to get on. At what point did you see this and go, I can make a living doing this? Like, was there a point where you were like, we've just got to go all in on it because this is the way to go?
Actually, it was actually a book. So there's a book called Hold. It's a yellow book, and use Amazon if you want to look it up. I don't remember. So it's called Hold, but it teaches you how to invest in real estate, in rental properties for cash flow, which means like money today. We use that word cash flow, meaning we get money today that we can use in our life or business. Prior to that, again, those houses were for retirement. We weren't making any money. I mean, half the time we were putting money back in to make them rentable. And that book was given to me by one of our agents. Read the book. I made it through college. I have a secondary degree. Actually, have a master's, but I don't know that I ever actually read a book in school. But that book, I just opened it and devoured it, and I just went through it. I said, wait a second, you mean we could actually do this and make money today? And so that book kind of set that, it opened my eyes to the fact that was possible, and then I shared those ideas and thoughts with Michelle. And at the time, again, we had young kids at home. I think it was 2 kids at home and 1 on the way, so 1 in the oven. And she looked at me and she said, I remember it very vividly, she said, yes, you can do that. We can invest in real estate. I'll let you go with that, run with that, but do not touch my bank account. She said it very clear, like, don't mess with our income. Don't mess with our paychecks. Everything you do, you need to do over here. Right. And so we...
That's what Elaine and I try to do as much as possible. And when it's not going well, I'm like, we might need to dip into this a little bit. And when it's going good, it's separated. Mm-hmm. If it's the business, it's the business.
Yep. And that was the only way she would let it roll. And, thanks to God and the blessings of when we started, I think some mistakes that may have been made. We had a lot of cushion because this was... my first house was 2007. Then when we really started rolling with this business, it was 2015, 16. So things started kind of coming in, and the revenue was there.
And you'd had some practice at that point. So
we had some practice, right? So we had some years of practice. And then when it was time to step out of our 9-to-5 job, it wasn't, it's a really scary thing. And I talk to a lot of folks that come to me and they're like, I want to quit my job. I hate my job. I need real estate to pay for me so I can quit my job today. And that's a very scary place to be, to try to just quit and go straight into real estate when you don't have anything. Yeah. We had 35 rental houses before we left our day jobs.
Wow.
It wasn't leaving our day job, quitting, and then no income. We had created the business that was providing the income, and then we left the 9-to-5 job.
So
this is it. Hold.
That's the one.
Nice.
It's on my bookshelf. I
purchased.
I am currently out.
Yes.
I'm currently out of Audible credits because my wife used my Audible credit to get a book that she wanted to listen to, and I went to go get another book, and I was like, "Why am I out of credits? What's going on? Like, who's been using my account?" My wife got onto my account.
I can send you one.
I had 7 remaining, and I got to have them all done because you lose them at the end of the cycle.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So my cycle ends on July 30th.
Oh boy.
So I got 5 left.
You better get some.
Good books. I'm all over it.
I want to get day trading attention. That was the one I wanted to try to get.
Yeah, that was a big one. So a question I have then is, what did you what was the process you used to acquire 35 rental properties?
That seems like a lot. Is that a lot? Because
even if at $100,000,
yeah,
at low income rental properties,
that's $3.5 million.
That's right.
That's a lot.
And you say 100,000 is like this is wild, and we deal with it every day. But 2016, what's 100,000 today was probably it might sound crazy if you're just getting into real estate or whatever. You look at today, we were buying things at $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, $35,000, and it was different. So it wasn't $3.5 million. Now it is, but the process was we did have day jobs. We had W-2s. We were good borrowers to the bank. Good credit scores and stuff like that. So the actual process was we would flip a house, meaning buy a house, renovate it, sell it, take that profit, and then use that as a down payment for the next, for the rental house. So we would use that as the down payment for the rental house. But the trick is, and this is what we learned from our mentors and coaches, is, for instance, if it's $100,000 that we're buying as a rental and we need $20,000 down. So we flip a house, we get 20, we put it down. We don't just say, okay, that's great, let's go flip another one to do another one. We would buy that one at 100, but then we would update that one, get the rents a little higher, and then refinance to go to the bank and say, hey, this house is now worth 130 because of XYZ. Of course, they would get an appraisal and verify that, but then they would give us a refinance loan, a new loan, for $100,000 or somewhere around there, more than what we got originally, so that $20,000 that we put down now comes back to us, and that's where the compound effect comes from. And so we were recycling the money, and then every flip was growing the pool that we could put down for the next rental.
And all independent of your income, so you're not risking any of your...
Right, all of that. We started with a loan from Michelle's 401k. She actually had a 401k. So we started with a loan from that, and then a personal loan and credit cards. So in the business, that was all in the business. I feel like I need a whiteboard to draw all this out, but it works. It's there.
You should have a whiteboard.
Yeah.
So just on the list,
Next
we'll just have
time,
like a digital whiteboard. We can have it.
Well, if you go like this, we can get Ryan to put
Ryan
lines.
will just
all right, so
put some graphics on it.
This is the pie chart.
Yeah. We just draw it all out.
There you go.
So I think it's interesting in the beginning of businesses like that, how so many times we play it safe when we're just figuring it out, when we're just kind of getting used to it, we play it safe. I know that in our business, when my wife and I started our wedding business in 2005 originally, in 2007, there was a moment where I said, you know what, I'm just going to quit my job and do this full time, right? And it was the scariest, it was literally jumping off the highest thing I could find to jump off of. And you just go, I hope by the time I get to the ground, I'm going to have a parachute.
Yeah.
I don't have one right now, but somewhere between here and the ground, I'm going to get a parachute. And I got one. I just, I remember that I was July of 2007. We had 7 weddings booked between July and December at about $900 a piece. So we had, somewhere in the neighborhood of like $7,000 guaranteed to come in the rest of the year.
Woo.
And we were like, nah, I'm going to quit my job. And I was going, that's not the best. I would advise my 32-year-old self not to do that. But
right.
I wasn't a kid. I wasn't I had a 2-year-old,
Yeah.
And, but I think that happens with so many entrepreneurs that you get to the point where I can't do this day job anymore. I just can't do it anymore. I've got to just go all in on the business. I'm fascinated in that journey because I think that's important. It sounds like you all did it very slowly and did it very safe, did it very kind of controlled.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it was slow. How it went down is in 2015, Michelle was like 7 or 8 months pregnant, and we were painting a house it was oil-based paint. I remember being in there. We had to open all the windows because we couldn't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
But it was covering up old smoke stains and stuff like this. So we're painting, and she's pregnant, and we look at each other, and our kids we had 2 kids at that point, and they're at Grandma and Booba's house for the weekend so that we could do this house. We're like, what the heck are we doing? Why are we doing this? This sucks. And we're not making any money. There was no money coming, for that. It was just so we can get it rented, just so we could, pay the mortgage on that thing.
Sustain it, yeah.
And it was that moment that we said, all right, either we're selling these and we're just abandoning this whole, giving it 30 years thing. Like, this sucks right now. We'll come back to this. Or we're going to go in and we're going to make this thing work. Because at that point, I was already at, semi-close to what we were thinking were the ceiling for a local general manager of a hotel, which is what I was. There was a few hotels that were bigger, and maybe I could have made some more money, but it wasn't much more to go. And at the same time, and this just goes to that our mindset, where our mindset was. I also enrolled in a master's program at USC, so
because you didn't have enough to do.
I didn't have enough. So I enrolled in a master's program and started flipping houses to buy rental houses. And for the next 3 years, that's what I did. And it was tough, but it was a stage. It was a season. The kids were young, so they were in bed at 7:30. Michelle and I would have an hour or two. She's an early to bed, early rise. I'm a never to bed kind of guy. Like, I'm up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So I would spend those hours working on the business type thing. And then when I'd go to work, I had a flexible job because it was hospitality. So I'm in and out. I could talk on the phone. I could make decisions and call people, that sort of thing. So it was a very difficult 3 years.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. It was a strain on, my health, our family, the kids, the work. If I didn't have the people I had working for me then, it couldn't have happened. I had a really good team, really good bosses, local people, great people. All of that had to be perfect.
Yeah.
And so we were able to make this happen on the side with, in today's world, when I talk to people that are in the same boat as you are, if you're young and you don't have kids at home, you can risk it. Like we say, for the biscuit, right? You
Absolutely.
can risk it for the biscuit. But when you got kids at home, why are you risking it? You're risking it for the freedom to be with them. Why would you sacrifice those young years with them for the hope to be with them later? So
yeah.
I probably would have gone slower. I probably would have spent more time, family time, and less time doing the real estate stuff. But we got through it.
So do you feel like at this point that it was definitely worth it, moving through that, giving up that stable job that was guaranteed for something that's not so guaranteed? Do you feel like that was worth it?
Yes, because even at that point, because we had the rental houses, that was kind of a stepping off point. One of our friends, he made the analogy of, when people quit their day job, a lot of them are jumping off of a dock into the deep end of the ocean, and we were able to walk off the dock on a boat of rental houses. So yes, we're in the waves now, right? We don't know what's happening, but we at least are on the boat. And so that was available. And I tell you right now, I would tell everybody that when we left our jobs, we left on great terms. We told our managers, our bosses, our owners, we said, if this doesn't work out, we're coming back.
We might be back.
We might be back. So
yeah.
Anybody that's like thinking, I want to step out and do this on my own, or some sort of entrepreneur journey, don't leave on, don't burn the bridge, even if you hate
there's
your job.
there's a philosophy out there called burn the ships, right? You want to burn the ship so you can't go back
mentally, but I wouldn't do it physically.
I wouldn't recommend that either.
We know Columbia's a small town. You don't burn any bridges here.
No, that's right.
Certainly.
All bridges are permanent, so
yes.
you got to be very careful about that. Well, so talk about a little bit about since I guess 2015 was long enough ago that the real estate business has changed. Talk about the changes in your end of the business.
Yeah,
it's changed more. Well, I guess it's changed a lot, right? What's kind of the biggest shift between 2015 and now in your end of the business?
It is unrecognizable in many respects. When I sit here and get nostalgic about thinking about the house, I bought one for $32,000. I remember this. That house was $32,000, and it was move-in ready. We put tenants in it the next day, and it was built in 2005. We bought it in 2015, 16, 17. So it was like 10 years old or something. Bought it for $32,000, put people in it, had a great rent of like $900, and that house, we sold it right after COVID because I said these prices are insane. They can't go up from here. It's gonna blow up when they quit giving free money. Their prices are going down. So we sold it for like 150 maybe, right, 2020, 21, somewhere around there. And that house now is over 200. It's just unrecognizable. And the rent of it has almost doubled as well.
Yeah.
And it comes from a lot of different factors. One of the things we've got going, and you guys are probably feeling that as well, is Columbia is on fire. Like I said when I walked in here, not just because it's super hot, but the energy here. Columbia has been looked over and passed over for so many years for Charleston and Greenville and Charlotte and Atlanta, Myrtle Beach, for whatever reason. I have my theories. Local government may be part of it. But being, we have the state capitol, we have the federal buildings and all that kind of stuff. So we just haven't had the energy here that we do now. And people are coming from South Carolina was the number one moved to state.
Yeah, I saw that
in the last year.
Yeah.
And Columbia is becoming one of the number one moved to cities.
Mm-hmm. Charleston's full, people.
Well, that's the thing. Charleston is packed. You can't get in. There's no more space.
You can get in. Oh, it's Somerville, but you can get in.
It's Charleston, but it's an hour and a half from Charleston.
Goose Creek. You can move into Goose Creek. They'd be happy to have you.
It's full. Myrtle Beach has changed.
Yeah.
It's different. Greenville is expensive, very expensive, and so they're finally coming here. When I say the businesses, the big demand generators that are going to bring more bodies. We already have Fort Jackson. We already have state government, federal government, the colleges. How many? It's like 5 colleges downtown, right? We've always had that. Right. Now businesses are seeing it. Now they're bringing. And when I say businesses, I mean like Scout Motors and the wine distributor or whatever, the thousands and thousands of jobs at one time.
And Scout is such a huge deal. You drive by that thing in Blythewood, it's insane what they're doing out there. I mean, have you seen that? The size of that operation is just incredible.
Well, you got Amazon.
And
Samsung. And
sure.
Lots of things that just weren't coming here. They were passing over. They were going to Alabama, for the same reason they're coming here.
Mm-hmm.
It's lower entry into the market, the expense to get into the market, and plenty of workforce.
Yeah.
And we have a well-educated workforce with all the colleges. And then we also have a lot of technical colleges, which they like for the building of the stuff.
The mechanicals.
Yeah, the mechanicals and the factories and all that.
So in your experience, what is making it on fire? Is it the fact that the prices are to a point? Is it that the demand is there despite the prices being high? So I obviously I assume, and you guys are maybe I don't know. The real estate has always been where the prices are high, the demand goes down, that kind of thing. So here we're in a space where the prices are high and the demand is still high.
Because the prices aren't they're not relatively high to other places.
Right.
They're high for us, and but we're still going up while other places are going down or flat because we haven't caught up to Charleston. We are way far from Charleston and Greenville.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
When you and that's part of it is COVID. We're not just comparing our prices to Lexington, Columbia, Newberry, whatever. We're national because of Zoom. People can work
because you can live here and work anywhere.
One of our deal partners, I just got off the phone with him, and they live here, but his office is in New Jersey.
Wow.
So I was like, "Can we talk? Can we meet on Friday? To go over our next deal?" And he's like, "Well, I'm going to be in the office in Jersey, so I can, Zoom is not a problem." I was like, "Wait." I didn't know your office was there.
Yeah.
Like, you work here. He's like, no, that's my office.
I've been trying to convince my younger sister
to move
her
here.
Her husband works from home. His company's nationwide. I'm like, you could have a house twice the size of what you have.
Yeah.
For less money.
For less money, and Gigi is here. You can have the help that you're missing.
And Lake Murray's here.
I know San Diego's awesome, but our weather isn't that much different.
Yeah.
It's hotter.
It's hotter.
But it balances out. And we have a lot less Californians here than you have to deal with in San Diego. There's a lot of Californians in San Diego.
Yeah, but there's a lot coming here.
That's true.
We're selling a lot.
Get a lot more. And I just practiced. Had a band performance last Friday night, and one of the guitar players in the band, he lives in Shandon, and he is a accountant for the entertainment industry in Los Angeles. So producers and directors, he's got like 8 different clients that are in Los Angeles, and he just does accounting for them remotely from Columbia. And he works from works from noon till about 8 because that's when they're working, right? And that's the world. I mean, that's how things are right now. I think it's been interesting because my wife and I started kind of thinking about moving somewhere around COVID. I guess we all kind of got restless, around that time and started thinking about it.
I'm out.
So
Interest rates were low.
Brian being a real
Stuck
estate
at
agent.
home.
Yeah, I mean, we had 2.8% rate, so we're like, all right, well, we can afford a little more house than what we thought, So Brian came in and gave us, did comps on our house and gave us an estimate. And he said, conservatively, our house would be worth, give or take, $169 in 2021, 2020.
2020. At the beginning of it.
And so our neighbor's house across the street just went on sale for $307, something like that. Neighbor on the left just sold for $290, something or other. We're figuring our house is somewhere in the neighborhood of 270 to. I mean, it's crazy, right? I mean, our house was flat for so long, and then all of a sudden, just
In Columbia in general was a flat market and we've been that stable market, which is why we haven't been exciting all through 2008. Like we did a little hump.
Yep.
Whereas other markets, big dips and things like that.
Yeah.
But in the last 4 years, 4 to 6 years, we've just been on a straight incline.
You play everything by the numbers, though, right? I mean, you have formulas for everything, and if it doesn't fit in the formula, you're not buying the house. Is
correct?
That's basically the system.
Yeah.
So, what's that ratio that you look for in terms of this house needs to yield us 30%, otherwise we're not doing it? Or because one of your businesses is we buy houses, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm not wearing the right shirt.
Not wearing that shirt. We'll get to Dealfinders.
We're promoting Dealfinders, so it's important.
Can we add the different shirt?
We could. It's just extra. That's how we make our money.
Yeah, there you go.
It's replacing
Photoshop.
Logos on shirts.
Yeah, there you go. That's fine.
That's right.
But so real estate, we always know it goes like this. And it goes down, it goes up, it goes down and up, and it pitters around. within the formula, the market shifts. How do they really affect if you're continuing in the formula? Obviously, more people being foreclosed on means more opportunities to buy houses. So that changes. Less people being foreclosed on, there's less to work, so you have to make sure you get the most out of those 1 or 2 houses that you're doing a month rather than the 4. So is there something that you kind of keep your eye on in terms of where that balance comes in?
So macro wise, so big picture, we're watching the trends. And so as long as our trends are, trend lines are going up, or they're, even without a whole lot of craziness coming, then we just keep working with what we got. And we keep the same formulas, keep the same metrics. And we evaluate as we go. But if we see things come up like interest rates, was that last year? I don't even know when this was. Last year when they started going up. Well, we said, we need to evaluate. And at that point, we put in a policy and a procedure. It says, whatever we were going to offer yesterday, take off 10%. And then it became take off 15% because we didn't know what was going to happen. And there was a little bit of a dip in the overall market when those interest rates hit and shocked. I'm trying to think. I think it was like October where there was the amount of sales just went way low because it was shock. And then as January, February came around this year, people were like, okay, this is what it is, and we're back to normal. And so we just buy like we have been. Our biggest thing is we take each property, each deal, and evaluate it for what it is. And that's what makes us different. That's what allows us to succeed in a market where other people can't, because we are so familiar with this market. We're so plugged in. We get the nuances. There are other companies that are nationwide, and they have commercials too. They have websites too, and they're talking to the same people we are. But if they're nationwide, they don't get what the difference between neighborhood to neighborhood. They don't get to connect with sellers and understand what their real true issue is and how to best serve them. So we can do that. We get to connect. We get to make the personal connection with people so that they can trust us and know that we will do what we say we do. There's a lot of trust that is built into the house selling and buying process. When people typically work with us, there's not an agent involved because agents don't like dealing with issues. Agents, unfortunately, like it to be easy. They want to be simple. They want to, your house is ready to list. Okay, I'm going to take pictures and put it on the market. They don't want to deal with, your cousin passed away, or your mom, lives in California, or the house is a wreck, or there's a hole in the roof. Like, they don't want to deal with that. And so for a seller to come straight to us, they have to trust that we are going to do what we say we're going to do. And being a local company that's done this for so many years and so many testimonials and proven cases allows us to move into and do the deals based on our numbers that work for our business.
What are some of the big challenges you guys are having right now?
Some of the challenges are exactly that, is that there's a lot of people. Columbia's hot. Columbia's on fire. People are coming here. So a lot of companies are spending money to do marketing here. And so they're talking to who would be our seller. And so we have to then, make sure that they know why we're different. And not that it's anything, it's business, right? You're supposed to have challenges and you're supposed to prove your worth. And so it's not a big deal, but it becomes a little challenging when we see and we know what's going to happen because we see it all the time. I've talked to sellers where they say, no, I got this offer. I'm going to go with this guy. He's, $10,000 more than you. And I'm like, I know that guy.
He's wholesaling you.
He's not going to do it. Or, he's going to ghost you at the last minute. Or they're going to come back and they're going to ask for $30,000 in repairs at the last minute. And for that seller, like, who am I? Of course, I'm going to try to say that so I can get the deal, right? So there's a balance of how do we actually help people understand our experience without sounding used car sleazy of, don't go with that guy, you know.
You got to be trusted. So on top of everything, you got to be trusted, right? So you can't just have the mechanicals of it together. They've got to know that they can, without knowing you for years, they've got to trust you like they've known you for years.
And that's probably our biggest challenge, and of course, marketing. You know, and
storytelling.
Storytelling.
Well,
you know,
you mentioned the other national companies doing a lot of marketing and infiltrating the market with their materials. What are some of the things that you use to get the name out there and to market on a consistent basis?
Our biggest thing, well, we have like 3 big things. One would be our postcards. So we just send postcards that are real plain, real easy to read, that are just going straight to sellers. Just let them know that we're an option. And so we do that. Then our TV commercial. I don't know if you've seen it. If you're watching your TV.
Don't have TV.
It. See?
Sorry. I don't have anything philosophically against it. I just disconnected it and forgot about it.
Yeah.
So I don't even think
That's
about
fine.
it. Until the
Then you
Olympics
haven't-
come up, I go, oh man.
Then
I
you're
can't
gonna
watch the
want it
Olympics.
then.
And I got to get on Peacock.
I know. Yeah. That's
So
right.
our TV commercials are fabulous, and that's really a good thing for building trust, so people see us locally. And then our website. Our website, because we've been around so long, ranks very well with Google.
So you're basically the website marketing you're doing is just, you know, people Googling, I need to sell my house.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's a little bit more than that. You know, the
because
website
of the nature,
people do that.
Because of the nature of what we do. I'd like to get to some tactical stuff with that. I think that's interesting. So you maximize your SEO on website. So when someone's searching for what, do they find you? Do you?
So you want to dive into SEO? Is that
Yeah?
your audience understand
want to get into
SEO?
it? Yeah, we maybe we don't know.
We don't know.
We've not really figured out an audience
You haven't
yet.
polled
So
the
I mean,
audience?
who knows?
But
I'm
you guys,
interested. I'm
you guys
interested.
understand SEO.
And I feel like, you know, with a podcast, what I want to do is I want to be interested. So that's really.
Well, then
it,
you should be
know.
interested.
There
So
you go.
I'm gonna maybe
Bill's
blow your
really
mind.
talking for himself about himself
That's right. That's right.
to
So-
himself.
Tell me.
What? So I'll ask you this. I'm gonna turn it on you for SEO. What is the general recommendation for SEO to maximize SEO on a website? What do people say you should be doing?
People say. Well, so the difference between people say and reality is
that's
pretty deep,
Yeah,
right?
that's good.
So the primary thing is that you've got to have your primary tag, your H1 tag, to be what it is that you want to be found for. And then realistically right now, Google is in a place where you need to be the right result, right? So that's a combination of videos, captions and descriptions, keywords, but then also just understanding that like the sitemap needs to be submitted. All of those things have to be in order to get to the place where. Now people say probably it's keywords, I imagine, or something like that, right? That's what people say, but it's not all that.
So, and I asked that because I am kind of curious because our SEO in 2018, I told my hotel that I was leaving in February, but the hotel was for sale, so we worked out a thing. I said, whenever it sells, I'm gone. So that summer, July of 2018, the site was open in February, but nothing. It was just sitting there. Right. Hired an SEO company with a 6-month thing of they would tweak everything. So July of 2018, they started working. In October-ish, we were ranking number 1, and we've been number 1 ever since, and we have not touched. We get people, hey, you want to work on your SEO? Heck no.
Don't touch anything.
Don't touch anything. But what we do is we upload testimonials, and basically it's a little AI generated, but it is a customized blog that comes up with just Q&A type stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what we do to keep our site relevant and alive. And I don't know what Google, obviously I'm not the guy to tell you what Google is looking at and tracking on that, but I do know we don't have a ton of backlinks.
Right.
We don't have the sitemap thing. What were they doing where they verify something? Like, that's all broken. It's just...
But the content stuff makes a huge difference.
Content is there.
Yeah.
And it's minor updates and additions.
Right.
Consistently.
And that's what tells Google that you are the right choice for the search. And that's so important. And, there's so little that you can do other than, kind of making that content the right result for people. There was for a long time, it was, if you wanted to be ranked for real estate investing, you would have to have nonsensical paragraphs on there that said real estate investing investors for real estate investing, and it would just be like repeated dumb stuff over and over again. I think it's gotten a lot more sophisticated. And I had that same experience. I had an SEO guy that worked at SoCo when I was at SoCo, Corey Potter. Shout out to Corey Potter. And Corey was, at kind of the beginnings of his SEO business. He's like, let me take your website and I'll get you ranking #1 in the market, whatever. So I was like, no, you won't. And so he took it, and I got him into the back end. It was WordPress at the time. And he did. Within weeks, he got it to #1 in the market. And just like you're saying, I didn't touch a thing, and it was #1 in the market for 10 years. I mean, it's insane how long that can last if you set it up the right way, and you just kind of do that. And obviously we kept up one of the things he decided was we should deliver all of our videos on our website. So then when we deliver the videos on the website, we put a link on there and a description of the video, and then all of a sudden now we've got 120 pages on our website that address exactly what people are searching for.
Yep.
Right. And every time we deliver something, there's another result. And so all that stuff just adds together to make the SEO really good. And I don't know enough about it. Honestly, I know that it's a practical way of getting money rolling in the door. It's like, people are Google searching because they're ready to buy something.
Yep.
They're not Google searching for entertainment. They're doing it because they're ready to buy something. And so SEO is such a huge thing. You also are big on social. Talk about that a little bit. And you're kind of, is that a Dealfinders thing? And maybe we should talk about that a little bit.
Well, it doesn't matter. Someone came up to me the other day, and I think we were at dinner. He's like, I feel like I should know you. Do I know you? I should know you. I was like, I don't know. And he's like, how about social media? Maybe on social media. I said, well, he said, are you on social media? I was like, well, kind of. He did social media for the restaurant. It was the Palmetto Club. And he was like, I do the social media for that. He's like, maybe it's there. I said, well, my face is on there a lot, but I'm never on there. And so I said, he's like, oh, that must be it. I was like, yeah, we have a team. We have a company that takes, our videos, our content, and chops it up and puts it out there. And so it's certainly not something I am good at because I don't have the consistency built into my brain or my work habits. And so the social media for us, it's all about just being there with that kind of, what do people want to hear and see when they go to social media? They want a little bit of, I call it whatever, infotainment. Mm-hmm. They're curious about the information, but they also want some entertainment because generally they're not working on social media.
Right.
But they're still interested in things that deal with work or home life, and so we use social media for Dealfinders as a way to reach other people that want to invest in real estate. If it's a home seller or home buyer, it looks a little different. It's usually not my face there. It's usually our team, but they're talking about the same things of answering a question, a typical question that a seller might have. We'll answer that in a quick video or a blog post or just a comment, because I feel like for me, and when I say social media, we are primarily Facebook and bleeds into Instagram. So it's pretty quick stuff.
Yeah.
Just opened up my LinkedIn. I had not been in. I had happy birthday wishes from 3 years ago. So I haven't been on LinkedIn for that long. So I just opened it back up, and I put a little video post on it, and it did great. So
boy, I will tell you, LinkedIn is the Pandora's box of social media, because
I think there's something there.
I'm telling everybody about LinkedIn, but at the same time, I kind of don't want I don't want anybody on it, because I want it to be my secret.
It's your secret, yeah.
But
secret's out.
I find the same thing on LinkedIn, is that, I'll post on Facebook and get crickets, even though I've got people that I know personally on Facebook, even, my aunt, whatever, or my mom's neighbor will say, "Good job, honey," that kind of thing. And that's great. And I love, and whatever accolades I can get, are awesome. But on LinkedIn, you get, real connections, you get real, people in the business community responding to your stuff. And I think for you, as somebody that does investment, that would be a huge market for you, is to get people on LinkedIn. So let's talk about Dealfinders, because how do you get from being an investor to saying, "Hey, I could teach other people to do this"? How do you, where is that switch?
Yeah. That was a switch that was built in. So I told you I was going in to get my master's. That came from because the hotel I managed was on campus, and so I would go and often speak to students and give a little lesson or teach a little bit, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the teaching, and then at my job at the hotel, like my favorite thing to do was to teach our team and train them up and show them how to do better and that kind of stuff. So that's where when we started this, it was real estate or I'm going to be a professor. So it was like one of these two things. Thankfully, real estate took off, and it was fine. So we went that way. Otherwise, I'd be in a tweed jacket right now with elbow pads.
I can see it.
So
I
could totally pull it off.
Yeah.
So, but teaching has just been when I talk to Michelle, my wife, she's like, that's one of the gifts that God gave me, was to teach and help and show others how to do things. And so, because I had hired or met mentors and coaches, they were teaching me how to do real estate. I was not going out to be a teacher or coach of real estate, but when we started connecting with other people, we made a meetup. We made a group where people could come, and just really we were having pizza at lunchtime. It was just getting together, but we were learning about each other, learning about the business. And then as we got a little bit more successful and quit my day job, and then had more and more flips and rental houses, people started asking me and Michelle, "Hey, how did you do that? Can you show me how you did that? I want to learn under you. I want you to coach me or teach me." And at that time I was like, no, thank you. Like, I've only been doing this a few years. But as more and more people were asking, started to realize, and I talked to the people that were teaching me, is there's not many people that will share their success or share the formulas that we talked about. Like, if we had the whiteboard, I'll map out the formulas. Real estate has been, which is weird, it's available to everybody, but it's been such a secretive kind of clique that people were afraid to get in, or they didn't know who to talk to. There's always that uncle that he had 30 rental houses, but he never told anybody in the family about it, And he's like, got all this money, and we don't know where he gets it. And then he dies, and like, he had houses everywhere, because the old industry of real estate was it's mine, it's for me, I'm not going to share it. There was a limited mentality of like, there's only a small amount. Where I come from, we think there's an abundance of opportunity, and if we can help show other people, it's only going to help us. If they have a deal, if they have an opportunity, they'll bring it to us, or we can do things together. So that's how we went into it. Of sure, we'll teach you how to do it. Just call us when you need some help, and that's turned into a whole community. Local and beyond, so South Carolina and now nationwide, people that just are trying to get started, and they need a little leg up. They need some encouragement. They need where are the pitfalls? Where are the guardrails? What are my next steps so that I can enjoy a little bit of this real estate industry? So
That's cool.
Long journey, short story.
Well, and it sets you up as an authority too. It's if you teach it, then obviously you know how to do it, right? And so that's a cool.
It's not always obvious, but
that's a cool byproduct
Yeah.
of teaching it is having that authority.
Yeah, we don't get it right every time. We still make mistakes, but
Yeah.
I think part of business is learning not how to never make mistakes, but how to make mistakes and get through them
And recover from
and
that.
recover and learn from those mistakes. And so that's what we do.
Well, what's one tip? Give me one tip as somebody that's getting into real estate investing. If I've never done it before, what would my first step be? What would you suggest to do?
Well, just same kind of notion is get connected to a local real estate meetup. What we call it a meetup, an association, somewhere where there are other real estate investors connecting, talking, spending time together. Because what you'll learn really quick is that real estate is a big, big place. We say real estate as an industry, and you all three of us are going to have a different view of what that means. And there's so many options, so many variables. You don't know what you want to do if you're just getting started. So get connected to a local place, local people, and you'll start learning, hey, that guy flips houses. He looks like he's not having any fun, but this guy over here, he's buying apartments. That's my speed. I want to do that, and so he's doing car washes. I love that, So get connected locally to just start wrapping your brain around what's possible.
Yeah.
And then your next steps, I think your next steps are finding someone that's been there, kind of the next step ahead of you, and start asking some questions. What are your resources? Gathering up your resources, not always just money, but time and connections and that sort of thing.
Awesome. Good.
All right. Now it's for the 5 favorites. We end every podcast with 5 favorites. So as fast as you can think of them. What is your favorite sitcom?
Oh my gosh, what is? I don't even know what would define a sitcom.
It's a 30-minute comedic TV show.
Okay. Well,
That's a good definition.
the first thing that came to mind would be Seinfeld.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite dessert?
Oh man. So, is it dessert time? Can we leave here and have dessert?
We could.
Okay.
Every time is
warm chocolate, a little gooey brownie with vanilla ice cream.
That's the best.
Right now. Can we go?
Yeah.
Who is your favorite fictional character?
It's fiction. Is fiction fake?
Fiction's fake. Yeah.
See, I need a thesaurus on these.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll help.
Fake fictional character.
Is that a fly?
It was not a fly, but it was not a... It was weird.
There's something on the microphone. That's weird.
That's a tough question. What is a favorite fictional character? Do I have...
Indiana Jones.
Oddly, I was thinking Indiana Jones. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
I was thinking Indiana Jones was probably one of my favorites.
Man, I don't know. So this goes to show how much TV I watch. It's like none.
It can be from a book.
Or a movie.
Well, see, we already established
Harry
I don't
Potter.
read
What
books
about
either.
D'Artagnan? Something
So that's
from...
the thing. Like I guess fiction is not. The books I read are business and the Bible, and I'm gonna go with, because I have been showing the kids, my older kids, Reynolds, the Marvel. So the last one was Iron Man, and that was a lot of fun.
Iron Man's great. Iron Man's a good one.
Favorite song?
Favorite song. We are so maybe I hang with my kids too much, but Emery we call him our little. He's just thunder. He walks in a room and just if he walked in here, everything would be on the floor. So we are jamming out to Lightning and Thunder and Lightning, Imagine Dragons.
Oh yeah.
And I jammed that on the way in here.
Yeah.
And finally, your favorite social media platform?
Man,
To consume.
to consume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, this is bad. I'm gonna have to turn it off my phone, but it is whatever probably YouTube Shorts or the Instagram Reels. When I'm looking for a chance to just I need to turn my brain off. If I'm at my desk, I'll do a YouTube, just scroll. But yeah.
Bonus question: puppies or babies?
To hold or to keep?
If you had to choose, if I had a puppy or a baby, which one would you go for?
It's tough.
I have it here, and I need you to take one. Which one are you doing?
I'm going to, if I can give it back, I'm going to take a baby. If I have to keep it, I'll probably still take the baby.
Puppies are a lot shorter term.
They are, but
you have to be a parent for a very long time. That baby is there for a long time.
So we have a dog. It's not a puppy anymore. And so this is my take, and this is probably where I'm at. Puppies are a voluntary addition to the family. Babies are we're having a baby. We're going to have a baby, and we're excited about this baby. We're prepared to have a baby. And that puppy is just let's go throw dynamite in our house. Let's just go get a puppy for fun. Why are we doing this?
But the noise, the mess, the amount of time it takes, it's a lot.
But
babies are a lot longer.
I get a lot more.
And listen, as my son is about to turn 21, I'm going to tell you, you just don't realize how long you have to parent these children.
You're still going.
Still going. I just talked to him today about something else he needed me to do when I got home, and I'm just like, man, and it's fine. It's good. And he's much better now as a 21-year-old than he was as a 15-year-old.
Well, I hope so.
That was a challenge, but boy, you got to do it for a long time. And my mom would tell you have to do it a lot longer than that because I'm 50.
And you're still calling mom.
I'm still calling mom to ask questions. And so.
Well, I keep thinking.
Bill soon.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
We'll see. Hopefully not that soon, but
well,
he's a responsible kid, so he's all right.
Mine's 11, and we're counting down. We're oh my gosh, he's gonna be out, and
yeah.
I guess not really. So
well, see, my wife is feeling the empty nesting thing. She's feeling that piece of it. I am absolutely not feeling it.
You're happy.
I am ready for him to get his own apartment. He doesn't have his own. He's still living with us. I'm ready for I'm ready for him to kind of realistically, I want reality to hit him in the face and him to come to dad one day and say, man, this is really hard. I go, yeah, dude, it is really hard.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But I'm gonna feel it when my daughter gets out because I have a connection to my daughter that my wife has with our son.
Yep.
And so it's kind of she's feeling the sort of that emptiness of him being out.
She's filling that void.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Andrew, it's so good to have you here, man. It's a really good conversation, and we definitely have. It's been fun getting to know you over the last year or so, however long it's been. We've been connected, and hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Absolutely, we can come hang out anytime.
Where can people find you online?
Dealfindersclub.com. And if you want to text me, I tell people text me or you can call me. It's 803-216-5750. Happy to talk to anybody that's thinking that I can help them.
Love it. So, everybody call Andrew.
Yeah, go ahead. Whatever. And I'm telling you, you might want to text or leave a message because I'm not going to answer every call. But if you leave me a message or shoot me a text, I'll get back to you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Good. Glad to have you.
Absolutely. Thank you.